Caution. Parts of the BlekSports Report are not safe for work. There we go. Hello, Blek fans, and welcome to today's broadcast. I'm your champion, Blekghost, here to tell you about sports. Yes, that's right, sports. You don't hear a lot about sports on YouTube. You see a lot of clips, but you don't see a lot of people talking about it. I wonder why. Could it be the type of people who are on YouTube? I don't know. We'll find out. So today, I'm going to go through baseball because that's all that's going on right now. Baseball. I love me some baseball. As you can see, I'm wearing my jersey. I've got my baseball cap on. I'm ready to go. We're looking at today's playoff teams. That's right, the teams that would be in the playoffs today if the season ended today. You follow me, right? So, if we go over here to my assistant, also known as my computer, we'll find out who is where in the standings. Right now, as they are playing, or actually I believe they finished, I lost today, yes, but the Yankees are in first place in the American League. They did lose today to the Toronto Blue Jays, who fell out of contention way back, like a week and a half ago. That's years in baseball time. But instead we have the Yankees leading the East by 3 games. We have the White Sox leading the Central by 2 games. We have the Texas Rangers leading the West by 5.5 games. That's the biggest in the AL. I'm going to take off my headphones because really they don't do anything for me right now. It's kind of a bit of a noise cancellation, if you will. But the wild card's a little more wild. See what I did there? Yeah. The Baltimore Orioles, they are right now tied with Oakland for both playoff spots. So if someone else came up to tie, there'd be a 3-way tie, and there'd be an extra playoff game, and there'd be chaos. Chaos everywhere. But right now, Tampa Bay is a game and a half behind. They were in first place in the wild card after going on a crazy run where they went like 8-0, and now they are 5-5, have lost 4 in a row. You gotta get some production from the bats there if you want to play in the playoffs. Just ask the Mets. But Detroit still has a shot. They're only two games back. And the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, somewhere in the southern part of California, they spent all that money, 4.5 games back. 4.5 games back. Yeah, Zach Greinke is your savior. Good job with that one. They still have a shot. I think anything within 5 games is within striking distance, even up until the last week. Just ask the Mets again. And, they're still in it. Basically, Boston, my goodness, Boston was still in it for last week and then the last week before that. But, when you decide to trade half your team, that's what happens is you get 10 games back in the wild card. They are actually behind Seattle, who's 9 games back. Seattle! The Mariners! In case you didn't know. Jeez. Oh, that's spring training. We don't want spring training. If only teams were given trophies for spring training. Wouldn't that be awesome? Anyway, Washington leads the world. Actually, they don't anymore. But Washington is leading the Eastern Division by 4 games, 77-51, ahead of Atlanta. Right now, Cincinnati leads the world. They have 79 wins to 52 losses, and they have a 7-game cushion in the division, clear sailing all the way out. On the other hand, San Francisco, who hasn't gotten anything from Hunter Pence, leads the Los Angeles Dodgers, who are 3 games back and haven't got anything out of the entire All-Star lineup that they traded for. But at least the Los Angeles Dodgers, who are actually in Los Angeles, at least they're only 2 games back now of the wild card. It used to be that they were closer to catching the Giants than they were catching the wild card. Now, the Giants have separated themselves, and the Dodgers have crept up on the rest of the teams. Right now, Atlanta holds strong, 74-56 in that first wild card spot, and St. Louis holds that second wild card spot. Now, the Pittsburgh Pirates, the Pittsburgh Pirates are tied with the Los Angeles Dodgers for that 2 games back. Get it? 2 games back. And Arizona, who was in it a while ago, not so much anymore. They are in the fade zone. That's 7 games to about 10. That's the fade zone. That's when you're fading away, fading out, fading away. But, yeah, that's what happens when you trade away Stephen Drew. Too bad they couldn't get rid of Justin Upton. I don't think anyone actually wanted him. So, Milwaukee is 9.5 games back. Philadelphia, New York Mets, everybody past there, gone. So who do you think is actually going to be the winners in each of these divisions? Well, it's anybody's ball game. With the Washington Nationals not having all of their best pitchers, with the Cincinnati Reds actually really good, but no one actually is talking about them, and San Francisco, who can't hit most of the time, and lost their best star to a 50-game suspension. Yeah, we love our baseball. That's why we make all of our best stars serve 50-game suspensions. And that's why we want to not put anyone in the Hall of Fame. But I digress. At this point, Atlanta's got a decent shot, St. Louis has got a decent shot, anyone in the NL is in the mix. It didn't look like that. It looked like the Washington Nationals couldn't lose, which is such a weird thing to say. It actually looked like the Nationals and the Pirates would be in the playoffs in the same year. That also is a weird thing to say. But in terms of the American League, Texas, man, Texas is Texas strong. They still have enough guys who can pitch, they have a lot of hitters, and they've got the goods. The Yankees have CC Sabathia, and then maybe they can get a win out of Hiroki Kuroda, and then I don't know. Maybe they should call Roger Clemens. He might be able to help them out. And Chicago's a team that you got to watch once they get into the playoffs. If they can push back Detroit and keep them from catching up, Chicago has some decent pitchers and some decent hitters that can really put a hurt on you. So they should be the ones to watch as kind of the dark horse. No one talks about them. No one talks about Detroit either, but either of those teams could get enough of a run to put away one of these other teams. As for Baltimore and Oakland, your guess is as good as mine. We have no track record for either of these teams. We know Baltimore was good a long, long time ago. Oakland was good a little bit more recently, but neither of them have actually been good. Neither of them were really supposed to be good. Likely, one of them will get overtaken by Tampa Bay if they decide to hit. But that may not happen. And if Detroit gets in, they're going to be a dangerous team too. If they get in and the White Sox get in, I wouldn't stake my reputation on this, but I wouldn't be unsure that those two would play in the AL Championship. And then one of them would go to the World Series, unless, Game 7 tied. And then they'd have to add more people to the roster, and the winner of that game would have to get home field advantage for the World Series. That's what had to happen. So all the rest of these also-rans are trying to figure out what they need to do for the next season. And that's what I'm going to talk to you next about in the next video. In fact, probably a next series of videos. A video on each one of the teams and what they need. So, until then, happy hunting and watch baseball. It's good.